everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Corner Extra at Night. I'm your host, Chris Thomas. And usually on the show, what do I always do? I'm always interviewing somebody. But tonight, I'm letting somebody interview me. As a gentleman I've been promised, I'm going to do his podcast called Bridging the Generation. The gentleman here to my right is Malak, and we have D, his co-host. And we're going to have a great show because I get to sit back and let people ask me questions. So let's get on with the show. The word of the day, D, is
health. Health is the state of being free from illness or injury or a person's mental or physical condition.
So now we know the word of the day is health. Take care of yourself. Get your vitamins. Get your ginger. Drink plenty of water. And stay healthy. Now it's time for the podcast, Bridging the Generation. Malak, you ready? Let's rock.
Yeah, okay. Welcome to Bridging the Generation podcast. I am your host, Malak Arif, and I also have my co-host, D. Today we have a very, very, very special guest. I know I say that very often, but you know I'm always coming with that heat. But when I'm talking about heat, I'm talking about one of the pioneers in comedy as far as the DMV area, as far as entertainment, television entertainment. I'm talking about one of my favorite impressionists of all time. And I'm talking about the one, the only, Chris the Mayor Thomas.
How you doing, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, so a lot been going on, brother, and I would love to cover so many things, man. But first of all, man, how are you doing, man? How you feel, brother?
I'm doing good.
No doubt, no doubt.
I haven't took my shot.
Right.
So I want everybody to get theirs so I don't have to take mine.
Okay, well, you look good, man.
Thank you, bro.
You look the same as you looked back in 1989.
Well,
you know,
I found the fountain of youth.
No doubt. So look, I want to go back.
Okay.
Most fans of your work, man, they don't know the story.
Right.
They don't know the story. So take me back, man. Take me back to Chris Thomas as a young kid. What was Chris Thomas like as a young kid?
Well, I've always had dreams of. I've always just been this type of guy when I was growing up to think about how wonderful the world would be.
No doubt.
If people just got along with each other.
Okay.
So when I was young, I used to watch this show called Superman. This was black and white Superman. And I used to...
you know you're aging yourself.
That's all right. That's all right. You got to get there, though.
I know that's right.
You got to get there.
Yeah.
So I used to have this imagination that I could fly. That didn't work out too well.
Right.
So I guess I started doing impressions.
Okay.
I could look at someone on television and I would do impressions like Donald Duck or Richard Pryor. This and that and everything. And the rest is history.
Right. So what was the first impression?
Donald Duck.
Okay.
Donald Duck, and I think Yogi Bear was the second one.
Okay.
Everything was based on cartoons.
Okay, so take me back. You know, like I said, you started off. You realized that you had this talent as a young child.
Right.
When did you feel that you was ready to perform in front of people, to perform live? You know.
Well, that came along later on, like in junior high school. We used to have talent shows.
Okay.
But it really didn't kick off till senior high school. We had a thing called Blue and Gold.
Explain that.
It was a talent show in senior high school.
Okay.
Now, first of all, I was on the morning announcements. So I was leading myself up to that.
No doubt.
And they had a talent show, and I would love mimicking. Now, I used to actually mimic the $6 Million Man. I used to make myself run real slow. And I had to play like I was looking. And I would pick up things like and make that noise.
Yeah.
So, and I was shy.
Right.
I was
Right.
shy up until my school used to ask me to do assemblies
Mm.
when they were trying to raise money, and they
Okay.
used to pay me. They used to pay me to do assemblies.
Wow. So when you was in high school, you was known as you was popular.
I was very popular.
Popular for
I didn't play any sports.
Right.
You
And
know,
you got some height on you, brother.
Well, the ladies like athletes.
Right.
But I told them I was a eraser beater. I used to come out of school and I'd beat those erasers.
I know that's right. So did you get any trouble in school, man? Because I when I hear of comedians, man, most
Right.
of you guys, man, used to,
Class
y'all had
clown.
frequent visits to the principal
I
office.
never got suspended.
Right.
I did get in trouble for cracking jokes
Okay.
during school time.
No doubt.
But I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
through it.
Okay. Now, when you was in school, what were some of the impressions that most of the kids in school would ask you to do?
Howard Cosell and Mohammed. That's it. Howard Cosell, of course, Mohammed. Cosell, I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
I beat Joe Frazier. Will Kennan, son of List. Now,
Yeah.
what about you, O.J. Simpson? Well, man,
Yeah.
first of all,
Yeah.
well, people really don't understand about the juice.
No doubt, man. So I when I think about local comedians, man, some of the great comedians that come out of this area, I'm thinking of guys like Martin Lawrence.
Right.
I'm thinking of guys like Earthquake, and I gotta put you in that category, brother,
course.
because when I was a kid, man, growing up here in Washington D.C., I used to see Chris Thomas, Tommy Davidson,
Right.
and Martin Lawrence flyers everywhere. Didn't know who these guys were.
Right.
Didn't know anything about comedy, but I just remember seeing you guys flyers everywhere in the city. So talk about that time in the early 1980s, man. What was that like, working with these brothers and being around a lot of these legendary comedians?
Well, I can tell you that I wasn't the first one. There was a guy named Catfish Mayfield who used to be at the Ibex.
Heard that name before.
And even though he didn't introduce me,
Right.
because I was kind of paved in my own way,
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to clubs and ask them, can I come on stage?
Right.
During their, they had a certain time they had to have the glasses off the table.
Okay.
So I used to ask them, when they were picking up the glasses or liquor bottles
Right.
or the beer bottles, could I do some jokes? But it was Catfish Mayfield and Greg Cooper.
Greg Cooper.
Now, Greg Cooper was the first one that went on the Tonight Show from Washington, D.C. But me and a friend of mine named Peter Dean, we changed the level. We changed the whole game.
Now talk about it a little bit. What do you mean?
Well, he had another vision. He went to Strayer College. He was the editor of the newspaper.
Okay.
And I actually won Strayer's talent show.
Okay.
In 1980, I won $1,500.
Oh, you was
in their
balling.
talent. I was
That's a good
balling.
He was
amount of money in
I
the
know.
80s.
I won $1,500, and he was like, "Man, I see you. I have a vision for you, bro." And he started taking me to all the promoters like Tiger Flower, G Street Express, Dimensions Unlimited, and he would take me around and ask them to give me some time on stage,
Okay.
and they did. So eventually, things just start happening. Then he went to different comedy play clubs or clubs that just starting out, and he was saying, I'm gonna go out here and promote. He was one of the Hell of 5 promoters,
Right. Okay.
but he wouldn't promote long. He would promote in a week.
Right.
He saw a vision of 1,000 people,
Mm.
and basically in a week,
Right.
and it doesn't happen like that. You're not gonna sell 1,000 tickets in a week.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit.
He was pre-promoting, but he wanted.
I get it.
His concepts were great,
Right.
but he needed time to pull them off.
To cultivate the idea.
Right.
I get it. So take me back. What was it like, performing for the very first time? You remember, like, where did you perform?
Well,
at?
it was in high school.
Okay. No, we talk about.
I'm talking about professionally.
Professionally. Let me
Oh
clarify.
yeah. After you Miss Black teenage pageant, I did a show with Max Roach.
Okay.
He was a very famous drummer.
Right. I know Max Roach,
And
jazz drummer.
And I performed at the for the pageant.
Wow.
And that was really my first time at the Warner Theater.
Now, what was that experience like, man? Was you nervous? You had the
Well, being young,
butterflies.
then people gave you an opportunity. It wasn't like you go to Apollo, here's the young cat, and they ain't like you.
Right.
Because I was doing all impressions.
Okay.
So, I mean, when I went to Howard University, I was there as the Children's Theater.
Okay.
And then I became a part of the drama department.
Right.
And I would go on stage and do my Wolfman. All right, it's a Wolfman chat tonight here on the Midnight.
Midnight special. You taking it back, brother. You taking it back.
And
So,
George Burns, hello there. This is George Burns. So I would do
Yeah.
my whole set was impressions back then.
right.
It wasn't no jokes.
So when did you start to put together like a routine,
Well, I was doing impressions, and another friend, I used to go to his house, and he used to say, man, he used to start telling jokes.
Right.
And that's what I want to do. I don't want to rely on these impressions.
Yeah, because it would come off as kind of gimmicky after
Right.
a while.
So I started doing jokes about my life. He would
Right.
tell different stories about his life.
Okay.
Then I started putting together a show.
Mm. Okay.
And guess what?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of impressionists, all they do is do impressions.
Right. Yeah.
But I started putting celebrities in situations.
Okay.
Like I used to do a skit about celebrities making love. What would they say? Like John Wayne, well, you better bend that stuff over.
Right. see back and during those days, man, I look at where comedy is at now,
Right.
and I look at where comedy was at back then. It seemed like you guys were much more raw. Am I saying
Like
something
maybe had
that's
a little more freedom.
exactly?
Well, of course. I mean, you got to understand, for black comedians, it didn't open up really not until, I know there was Flip Wilson,
Right.
and there was the Red Fox and
Okay.
Richard Pryor, but it didn't really open up until cable came along.
Mm.
When cable TV came along, that's
Right.
when it opened up. That's when you could curse on
Okay.
on HBO.
No doubt.
And then Def Jam came,
Okay.
That changed the game.
and that changed the
Changed the
game.
game. Yeah.
And then everybody loved it.
Right.
Everybody loved Def Jam. It made so many stars.
Right.
I already had my 15 minutes of fame,
Okay.
so I didn't get in on that. Everybody already knew Chris Thomas from BET.
Mm.
But actually, Bob Johnson did the first comedy special on BET called the BET Comedy Special with Robin Harris. He was the host.
Okay.
And me, Ronaldo Ray, and Myra J. was on the show.
Wow.
What a lineup.
That's before I did the special with Whoopi Goldberg after she won her Academy Award.
Okay. So when did you realize like this is something that that I want to do as far as a career? Because a lot of comedians, they got to pay their dues. A lot of times comedians
And they don't.
They still.
They don't anymore.
Of course,
They'll take a joke, they'll steal a joke, and that's very disrespectful because the audience is the one that knows.
Right.
I've heard that joke.
And I can actually profit off of this. When did that come into play?
Well, to be honest with you, what happened was when Black Entertainment Television first started out, they had a game show called Tell Me Something Good.
I remember that.
And I started getting calls. They kept calling my manager asking, could I be on the show?
Okay.
So I went on the show. I started getting a lot of fan mail. And that was basically the beginning.
Mm.
That was basically the beginning of Chris Thomas' debut
Mm.
on performing,
Right.
going on the road.
Right.
Don't forget that was
Now this is this is 1980s.
it wasn't a whole lot of
87?
places all over. Everything was based on concerts.
Right.
There wasn't no comedy clubs.
Right.
There wasn't really no improvs or
Right.
anything like that. I had the only night in DC, the Greenbelt Comedy Connection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where everybody came
Right.
to. This
Right.
is
Martin Lawrence and all,
this-
yeah.
a lot of people. I introduced David Chappelle on stage for the first time when he was 14.
Yeah, I was about to say he was middle school.
So Bill Bellamy credits me for letting him on.
Okay.
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
A lot of comedians. I had the only Sunday night that
Right.
was jam packed,
Right.
and I know Martin came through. This is after he was on What's Happening.
What's happening now?
he came and had it. I think it was his sister's birthday,
Right.
and he asked, could I? I think he came as a guest. I'm not sure. He wasn't performing there that weekend, but he
Okay.
came, and we did a happy celebration for his sister's birthday.
Okay. So this is what I want to know. Like, we know all the legendary comedians, and I know
Right.
you probably got stories for days, man.
I do.
But just take us back. What was it like being Chris Thomas in the '80s, man? Being a part of this movement of this very influential comedians that just coming on the scene,
Right.
and now today we look at us pioneers, man. What was it like being a part of that?
Well, BET made that possible because by it being the first black network,
Right.
and they only had a couple shows that was video. So,
Mm-hmm.
Tell Me Something Good, and when they started Rap City, that was when things. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
that's when I became a historian.
Right. Right.
That's when they start putting me on the level as Martin Luther, and because I'm black, a lot of black people didn't have their own thing.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's when people start looking at me different. I mean,
Okay.
even up today, people come to me crying and
Yeah.
telling me, Ruben Studdard told me a story. He said, man, I used to run home and watch you. I remember one time Will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. He was we went to a party with Jamie Foxx, and he was kept looking at me, and he was like, "Are you the guy that did the video with Public Enemy, Night of the Living Bassheads?" They were just blown away, and people expect me to look
Right.
old and big down. I mean, really, because most entertainers,
Yeah.
they
They live a hard life.
right, hard life.
Yeah. Live a hard life.
Even though it's a good, easy life,
Right.
but they drink,
Right.
Mhm.
party,
No doubt.
and health is probably secondary.
Right. No doubt.
But I took care of myself.
Okay.
I knew it would be days like this.
Did you know back then that you were making history, or were you just doing the motions, or did you know that it was going to be so big and be what it became?
I really did. I mean, because usually in our urban community, we don't give and learn the history like we should.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, you know Martin,
Right.
what he stood for, Medgar Evers,
Right.
Malcolm X.
Right. No doubt.
But we don't want to learn our history on where it started.
Right.
We tend to want to pick up where we are born,
Right.
and this is
Mhm.
where it
Yeah.
started.
The world started in 1986.
But then we'll know about the George Washingtons and Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
Exactly.
so
Or like black people started with slavery.
Right.
Right.
History they
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
tell you.
right.
Mhm.
We'll stay on that point.
Right. Right.
But I kind of look past that because there is no slavery now.
Mm.
Mhm.
We either we're on a movement, but God made everyone a different color.
Okay.
And I believe that story. We all bleed. The blood is red.
Okay.
And we all are born to die.
No doubt.
So there is no one greater than yourself,
No doubt.
other than
Okay.
your creator,
No doubt.
Almighty God.
Well, look, this is what I want to know. Like, take me back. What was it like, when you got that phone call to be the host of BET's Rap City?
I had to audition like everybody else,
Okay.
but they knew in the back of their mind that I was the host of the Run DMC tour.
Now, were you going around telling everybody, like your friends and family?
No, I
like,
didn't, because I didn't know
But you
how
know
I
you
would-
was going to get this. You know you was going to get this role.
I didn't know how I would fit in because when I went on to the show, I never did teleprompter.
Okay.
I had to read a teleprompter, and
You
I just didn't know.
So there was times that you was reading because I had no idea.
Well, just like you look like Johnny Gill, I had to read the teleprompter.
Comedians, man.
So this dude look like Johnny Gill. I'm thinking I'm talking to Johnny Gill. I'm thinking I'm about to go like this. My.
You got jokes.
On that point, I got
Yeah.
some jokes. I want you to check out this snippet from George Wallace. Check this out.
What kind of password do grown men use?
Try every variation of the word penis, followed by 69.
How many variations of penis are there?
Oh, that's a lot. Are you ready? Dong 69.
Dong 69, nope.
Rod 69.
Rod 69, nope.
Wiener 69.
Wiener, nope.
Johnson 69.
Johnson, nope.
How about Boner 69?
Boner 69. That's it.
All right, we're in.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm glad I could help.
Welcome back to the Bridging the Generation podcast. We are back with the legendary Chris the Mayor Thomas. This brother
You know, I
is
had
a
to do the
riot.
dance.
The brother's a riot, man. Like I said, most of us when we think of you, man, we think you're well accomplished.
Sex symbol.
This brother is crazy. You're well accomplished, man. But a lot of us know you from your tenure on BET. So talk about what were some of the most memorable moments from being on BET as being the mayor of Rap City.
All of the shows that I did on Rap City, I would say were good shows.
Right.
I would sometime that I had did a little bit more research on the artists that came on the show.
Okay.
Sometimes they would give me the bio just the day before, and when you have those intellectual, intelligent people like KRS-One and Queen Latifah, because she didn't always, she had the hat.
Oh yeah, I remember the militant Queen
know what I'm
Latifah.
saying?
Yeah,
And tell the kids you couldn't just hop on your phone and Google nothing back then.
Exactly.
You had to
No
actually
doubt.
do some research.
Get that encyclopedia.
But probably the biggest, the most memorable time is when BET gave me a comedy award.
Okay.
They had the TV show Comic View,
Absolutely.
and Steve Harvey. They did an award ceremony, and out of all the impressionists, they gave me the award. It was called the Comic View Award, and that's what really brought tears to my eyes.
Okay.
Because I thought everything was politics.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I was on Star Search, and I got a perfect score the first time. And now I knew what I had to do.
Right.
And now I'm arguing with the person I'm supposed to go up against. I'm arguing with him and arguing with Egg McMahon's daughter about can I do the same impressions when I talk like this?
Yeah.
So they were saying I can't do Bill Cosby and John Wayne the next show. I'm saying, well,
why is that?
Because Sam Harris, remember Sam Harris? He used to
Sam
sing
Harris,
Somewhere
yeah.
Over the Rainbow.
Mhm.
Every week he won.
Yeah.
Oh, every week. That there
Right.
made him win because he would hit that Patti LaBelle.
Right.
That's Somewhere Over the
Hit
Rainbow.
that note. Yeah.
So I opened my mouth. I said, can I do the same impressions? They said, oh, no, we never thought about that. We'll call you tomorrow morning. They called me like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
We just said that you can't do the same impressions. I said, well, all right, I'll do 10 more new ones.
Okay.
But I already knew the politics was already involved. And my manager said, if you don't win, don't feel bad.
Okay.
Because we know you got a perfect score the first time.
Right. Okay. So look, when you was on BT in Rap City, how long were you actually on? Because a lot of us.
I was on 5 years.
Yeah.
I was on 5 years.
Okay.
I did not get fired.
How did it come to it? Yeah, I got to get to it. I got to get the people want to know. Like, how did it end? Why did it end?
Because I was making money doing comedy,
Right.
and I wanted to move on. And they actually had promised me Comic View.
Okay.
But
who ended up getting that job?
They gave it to DL because I wasn't going to move to California. I wasn't going to move to California, but he did a great job.
Okay.
They wasn't paying that type of money
back then.
You mean I have to go out and host host Comic View?
Right.
And get a job?
Right.
Negro.
So you was making more money. You was making more money on the road than you was making on BT.
And Prince State Jewel, that's my buddy.
Okay.
Prince State Jewel was, he had just had a baby.
Right.
And that was his only income.
Okay.
And I knew that it couldn't get past.
The guaranteed money.
It could never get past Chris Thomas.
Right.
Because I started it.
Right. Right.
I was up first.
Okay.
Now, it could have been off if I didn't do the things that I had done.
No doubt.
There was a lot of rap shows that was on television that went off.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I right?
No, you're right about that.
That didn't last as long as Rap City. Rap City lasted 20 years.
Right. And you jump started that thing.
Right. So I added some comedy.
Well, it is coming back.
It is coming back. They said.
Who's gonna be the host?
They said Big Tigger.
Okay.
Big Tigger.
Okay. So now, you know, as we wrap this interview up, man, when you think back of your career, man, what was some of the highlights, man? You know, I heard you just talk about the award.
Right.
What's some of the highlights, you know, that you're most proud of?
That I did it my way. And I'm doing it my way.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, I hear people come up to me, when you going to blow up? I don't know where that term came from.
Right. Right.
But they don't understand. Hollywood, nowadays you can make your own self a star.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on you how long you want to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it's not the talent that mess up most entertainers.
Right.
It's their way of thinking.
No doubt.
You know, they're not bigger than life.
Right.
Maybe when they first started, because back then it was just a few entertainers. It was Sidney Poitier and Sammy Davis Jr.
No doubt.
But now they can make as much money,
Right.
but it's no big deal anymore.
Yeah.
It's not as big. It depends on. I don't believe in overexposure. I don't believe in people supposed to see you too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They should miss you sometimes.
Exactly. No, oversaturation.
Right. If you on every show every
Yeah.
time, then guess what?
I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna say no names, but there's some brothers out here that.
I mean that you're working, but they're seeing you over time too.
Right.
You got to control the supply and demand.
Right.
There you go.
know?
Where they can miss you.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
But then again, that's good when people see you too because they think they know you.
Right. Right. No doubt. Well, look, brother, it's been an honor to have you on the platform, brother, man. You know, I want to give you your flowers while you're still here. Like we talked about, you know.
I ain't dead yet. Flowers.
Yeah, gotta get. You know, the Bridging the Generation podcast. You know, we're about.
Make sure ain't no hole there.
Nah, we're about preserving the culture, bridging the gap, man. As far as culture, black entertainment, man. And you have been you have played a very pivotal role in that, man. And I appreciate everything that you have contributed to the culture, brother.
And Malak, I want to thank you for being on Comedy Corner Extra at night and let me be on your show, your podcast, which will be on his podcast. We're going to show all the stuff on the show in the credits. And Dee, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me she'll come back.
No doubt. She will be back. She will be back.
I'll be here.
Hopefully you're going to be back.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
So thank you. I want to thank DJ 5 Star. And I want to thank all of you for checking the show out. Till next time, remember, it costs you nothing to love. It costs you everything to hate. All right, I'm Chris Thomas. Till next time, Comedy Corner Extra at night. Signing off.
And this is Malak Arif with the legendary Chris the Mayor Thomas. It was a great honor to interview this brother. And there's going to be a part 2, so tune in. But again, this is one of those moments that I had to check off, and
by the way, give them the podcast info.
And the podcast is Bridging the Generation Podcast. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, or pretty much every streaming service. So that's pretty much it. And we're signing off. Have a good night.
All right.